Shraddha Walkar was 27 years old in 2022 May. Nikki Yadav was 25 years old. And Megha was 35 years old at the time of their respective murders. All three of them were killed by their live-in partners. Partners they loved and with whom they decided to take another step forward in a committed relationship. All three of them were killed in a gruesome manner following arguments. These arguments often were violent for Shraddha and went on for years. She tried to end the relationship couple of times, but each time she went back to Aftab hoping for a better life together in love. Till one day, Aftab killed her, chopped her body in pieces and stuffed them in their fridge. For days, he would take out some part of the chopped body and dump them in the wilderness of the capital city. Aftab updated his profile in dating app and dated other women after killing Shraddha. It would be months before Shraddha's murder in May 2022 came to light, and Aftab was arrested for the crime. Sahil Gehlot lived with Nikki Yadav for nearly 4 years before he killed her. Sahil's family, despite knowing about his relationship with Nikki, fixed his marriage with another girl. Sahil got engaged with her, and when Nikki kept objecting, their love life turned toxic and arguments became daily affair. They decided to elope, but Sahil hesitated, and on the day his marriage was to take place, he killed Nikki in the car with a charging cable after another round of argument. He stuffed her dead body in a freezer, and that very evening he got married to his fiancée. Megha fell in love with Hardik, who was 8 years younger to her. She was a nurse and he was unemployed. After dating for years, they started living together. Soon daily arguments spoiled their relations and Hardik killed her, stuffed her dead body in a bed box and lived in the same apartment for a few days before running away. All three of them were educated, financially strong, young women who chose to live their lives with their love. But when love turned toxic, they did not walk out of it. They stayed on before they were killed by the ones they chose to love and live with.
Warm welcome, you're watching the Inside Story, and this time we are going to talk about a crime that has shook the conscience of the country with its eerie reminder of what happened not many moons ago, the murder of Shraddha Walkar. But this time it is the murder of Nikki Yadav by her live-in partner and the discovery of her body like Shraddha Walkar in a refrigerator. This time around it was found in a dhaba on the outskirts of Delhi. Now the murder did not happen figuratively in the dead of night, but in broad daylight outside a very, very busy bus terminus. The accused has confessed that he killed Nikki near the Nigam Gopod Ghat, which is very close to the ISBT bus terminal. Well, after executing Nikki's death, he drove around with the dead body for 40 kilometers in the national capital. Here's more.
Murdered and dumped in a fridge in a dhaba by her live-in partner. 22-year-old Nikki Yadav's death has shocked the national capital. More stunning details of the killing, which had eerie similarities to Shraddha Walkar murder a few months ago, are out now. During interrogation by the Delhi police, the suspect Sahil Gehlot has allegedly given details of the horrific crime that has made headlines across the country. Sahil allegedly confessed that he strangulated Nikki with a data cable near the Kashmiri Gate bus terminal at around 9 AM in broad daylight on Feb 10th. He executed the chilling murder a day after his engagement. Investigating sources have revealed the timeline of the crime. Around 1 AM, Sahil left the house in his cousin's car. he went to Uttam Nagar to Nikki's house. After staying there for 3 to 4 hours, he left the house at 5 a.m. with Nikki. Both of them went to Nizamuddin railway station to go to Goa. After failing to get tickets to Goa, the two went to Anand Vihar bus terminal to take a bus to Himachal Pradesh, but again failed. Sahil and Nikki then reached Kashmiri Gate bus depot via Rajghat. Sahil allegedly strangulated Nikki to death at the parking lot outside the nearby Nigambodh Ghat. After the murder, he allegedly drove the car for 40 kilometers with the body. The accused allegedly hid the woman's body in a fridge of his locked dhaba located on the outskirts of Mitrao village. He deleted all the WhatsApp chats and data from Nikki's mobile phone. A few hours later, Sahil attended his wedding ceremony.
पहले से प्लानिंग का हमारी जांच में अभी तक कुछ नहीं आया है, पर उनको 5 दिन के रिमांड पे लेके आए हैं यही पूछने के लिए कि क्या कोई प्लानिंग थी या नहीं थी, अल्टीमेटली बॉडी को डिस्पोज ऑफ कैसे करना चाहते थे। तो ये अभी अनुसंधान का विषय है, जैसे ही पता चलेगा हम शेयर करेंगे आपके साथ।
Nikki's family is demanding the death penalty for the accused.
ऐसे आदमी को फांसी की सजा दी जाए। अगर ऐसा आदमी छोड़ दिया जाएगा या ढीला छोड़ दिया जाएगा तो आज हमारी बेटी के साथ होया है, कल किसी और के साथ होगा।
The police are now gathering crucial forensic evidence that back the alleged confession made by Sahil Gehlot. Bureau Report, India Today.
The fact is, viewers, the horrors of the Shraddha Walkar murder case and new revelations keep coming out every day. It's still very fresh in our memory. It was one of the most grisly crimes. 3 months later, a very similar incident had come to light. Like Shraddha, Nikki was living with her partner before things started to turn very toxic.
Shraddha Walkar and Nikki Yadav, victims of 2 horrifying murders, with the same modus operandi and motive. Bodies of the 2 live-in partners stored in fridges, and in both instances, the killers were chillingly remorseless. A terrifying rerun of the Shraddha murder case in Delhi. 22-year-old Nikki Yadav strangled by her live-in partner, 24-year-old Sahil Gehlot, earlier this month, after a heated tiff over his impending marriage. The accused strangled Nikki with a mobile charging cable in this car after she questioned his marriage. After murdering his partner, Sahil drove for 40 kilometers with the body, finally dumping the lifeless body in the fridge of a dhaba in Delhi's Najafgarh. And believe it or not, moments after the murder, killer Sahil went ahead and got married to another girl the very same day.
इस वक्त हम मौजूद हैं बाबा हरिदास नगर पुलिस स्टेशन में और ये जो गाड़ी आप सफेद रंग की देख रहे हैं यही वो वर्ना कार है जो साहिल गहलोत की है। ये गोवा का रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर है, आप देखिए। इसी गाड़ी में वो रात में घूम रहा था 9 और 10 की रात, और उसके बाद उसने कॉल करके निक्की यादव को बुलाया। निक्की यादव जब पहुंचती है तो इसी गाड़ी में दोनों दिल्ली की सड़कों पर घूमते रहते हैं। 9 तारीख को इसकी सगाई हो गई थी साहिल गहलोत की, लेकिन 10 को शादी थी। जब ये जानकारी निक्की को लगी तो निक्की और साहिल के बीच झगड़ा शुरू हो गया।
India Today accessed Nikki's CCTV images moments before she went to meet Sahil and got murdered. Unlike Shraddha's missing body parts, cops recovered a fully preserved body of Nikki from the fridge of the dhaba.
बाहरी दिल्ली का ये इलाका है नजफगढ़ के आगे। ये ढाबा है, ये बंद सा इलाका है। ये ऐसा नहीं कि ढाबा वर्किंग है। यहाँ पर एक फ्रिज में ला करके उसने निक्की की लाश को रख दी थी क्योंकि उसकी शादी थी। अब पुलिस ये पता लगाने की कोशिश कर रही है कि किस तरीके से उसकी आगे प्लानिंग क्या थी, वो बॉडी को कैसे ठिकाने लगाने वाला था।
फोन्स में जो भी डाटा है उसको रिकवर करेंगे और जो जहां वो उसको घुमा के लेके गया मर्डर के दौरान वहां की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, अगर सीसीटीवी फुटेज वगैरह मिल जाए हालांकि रात का समय है, तो वो सारे साक्ष्य हम जुटा रहे हैं।
Nikki's father said his family was unaware about Nikki's relationship and Sahil had misled him about her whereabouts. The family also made a desperate plea for justice.
ये कानून जो कानून है देश की, तो अम्बेडकर की जो कानून है बनाई है अम्बेडकर ने, उस कानून में तो वो फैसला होगा। अगर नहीं होगा तो हम अपने हाथ से फैसला करेंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
अब ये जो घटना हो गई है तो आपकी क्या मांग है, क्या चाहते हैं सर?
हमारी तो मांग ये है जी, हमारी बेटी का कत्ल कर दिया गया तो उसको सजा मौत होनी चाहिए।
While Shraddha's family still awaits justice, will it be any different for Nikki Yadav's near ones? With Himanshu Mishra, Arvind Ojha and Akshay Dongre in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Around the time of Nikki Yadav's murder, another story broke which also came to light. This time it was the story of a 35-year-old woman being murdered by her live-in partner in Mumbai suburbs. Another case of how long-time relationship turned into a living hell and horror before death struck.
"27-year-old Hardik Shah was caught by a railway protection force from a train in Madhya Pradesh's Nagda on 14th of Feb. He was accused of killing his live-in partner Megha over a spat. But what was more shocking was the way this young man in his late 20s tried to cover it up. He stuffed her dead body inside a bed box. They were living together in a residential society of Mumbai suburb Nala Sopara.
उसके बारे में हमने कुछ टेक्निकल इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया, उससे हमें पता चला कि वो ट्रेन से जा रहा है। वो ट्रेन का लोकेशन लेके फिर हमने रेलवे पुलिस से मदद से उसको रास्ते में रेलवे पुलिस ने पकड़ लिया है।
Police claimed that Megha and Hardik knew each other for 3 years and for 6 months before Megha's murder, they decided to live together. 35-year-old Megha was a nurse by profession, while Hardik was unemployed.
हार्दिक शाह कुछ काम धंधा नहीं करता था, उसके मम्मी डैडी से भी हमने पूछताछ की है, तो वो उन्होंने भी उसको बेदखल कर दिया था।
After Hardik ran away, neighbors alerted police due to foul smell coming out of Megha and Hardik's rented apartment. And with that came to light another horror story of love turned toxic, leading to the ultimate crime of murder.
Time to revisit Shraddha Walkar's tragic end. It's impossible not to be reminded of Aftab Poonawala and how he killed, chopping her into little pieces and stuffing her inside a refrigerator, doing away with her body parts every night for days at end. Here's more.
Two murders, 3 months apart, but eerily similar. The killing of Nikki Yadav by her live-in partner Sahil Gehlot has brought back the horror of Shraddha Walkar's murder by her boyfriend Aftab. 28-year-old Aftab Poonawala continues to be in jail. He has in fact asked for a pen or pencil and a notebook to make notes on his case. Aftab has also asked a Delhi court to allow him access to English novel and his academic certificates. Delhi police have filed 6,629-page charge sheet in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. It was murder most foul that had stunned India. Aftab allegedly strangled Shraddha, 27-year-old, on May 18, 2022 at their rented accommodation in South Delhi's Chhatarpur. He then chopped up the body into 17 pieces and dumped them in forested areas in and around South Delhi over the next few weeks. A tactic that helped him avoid being caught till his arrest on November 12. Aftab too had stored Shraddha's body parts in a refrigerator. He in fact used a saw to cut up her body and brought home women that he met on dating apps, while Shraddha's chopped up body parts were still lying in his apartment. The Delhi police charge sheet says Aftab shifted the body parts when he would bring a date home. Clean the refrigerator, he would again put the body parts back in the fridge once the woman left. Aftab's case comes up for hearing in a Delhi court on February 21 now. Bureau Report, India Today.
Of late, we've all been witness to some very disturbing headlines with very, very graphic details of domestic abuse and psychotic violence. News stories have not just played ad nauseum on TV, but also burned into our memory space with just the spine-chilling nature of the crimes associated with them. Our friends, our families repeatedly asked just one question: why didn't she just leave? I think that one question has answered what some of you might be wondering of what cases am I referring to. Well, the Shraddha Walkar murder case, now the murder of Nikki Yadav, and the spurt of so many similar cases in between both of them. Why didn't she just leave? Why didn't Shraddha leave before she was cut up and stuffed into a fridge by her boyfriend, who repeatedly, over time, emotionally, physically abused her? Why didn't Nikki Yadav leave before she suffered exactly the same fate as Shraddha? Why don't many women, which include some of you, which include some of my friends, which, maybe it hasn't gone to that extreme of cold-blooded murder, but why don't many women, some extremely successful, financially independent, leave toxic relationships? Go on till the worst unfolds. And I'll say it again, why don't they just leave? Too many people assume that if a woman is in an abusive relationship, that she's making a choice to stay, and that she has the power to end the abuse if she just leaves. Just as frequently, when talking about intimate partner violence, you'll hear someone say, and that could come from within you, or it could come from your colleague or your friend, your family, this couldn't happen to me, or I would never put up with this nonsense, or the day he picks up his hand or abuses me, I'm going to walk out. All of that we all say to each other when we are working. These are very easy words to say, but somewhere down the line, if you look at it, they blame the victim somewhere, and judgment is all too easy to hurl. And I'm not, I also feel it at times, but domestic violence in this country is a serious epidemic which nobody talks about, or very rarely people talk about, especially in our country. Because in India, rarely is it as easy as just leaving a toxic relationship. She may just stay because she fears for her life, or because she's threatened what he might do if she dares to leave, because he's threatened her before. She may stay because she believes she has nowhere to go. Because independent, successful relationships, women who get into toxic relationships, maybe pick their own partners, which their family is disapproved of, will find it not just difficult, not just ego-wise, but somewhere they just don't have anywhere to go, because their parents will tell you, I told you so, you should have gone with somebody we had picked for you. She may stay because everyone thinks her abuser is a good guy, and she feels ashamed, she feels embarrassed, and she is sure she will be judged and not believed if she speaks out about her abuse. She may stay because she's willing to sacrifice her own safety for the well-being, if she has children, for her children. So they don't have to grow up in poverty or without a father, because clearly she's not earning, she's at home and she's being abused. She may stay because her family, friends or community have told her they will not support her, and that they believe divorce is never a viable option. How many of us in India have grown up with some of our friends talking and saying कि हमारे घर में तो divorce होता ही नहीं है, it's unheard of. She may stay because she grew up in that family where abuse was normal, making it hard to recognize when a relationship is deeply unhealthy. Maybe she's grown in that relationship. She may stay because she loves him. How many of us have that, I will change him. He seems to regret the violence. Every time he hits me, he apologizes. She may want to try to make him a better man. If there is a concept of a better man. She may want to try to make the relationship work, help him to change. She may stay because she blames herself. How many of us, very, very successful, suffer from such low esteem, self-esteem, where she's been told it is her fault and that she deserves to be abused. maybe in childhood, abused by her father, abused by her relatives, abused by a boyfriend, and then keep taking this abuse and not realizing it could go to an extent which we've seen the kind of cases we've talked about. She may stay because she is in her emotional vortex, fueled by the Stockholm Syndrome. Instead of asking, why doesn't she just leave, should we be asking different questions? Why is he abusive? Or how can we break the cycle of violence? Or how can I support her to be safe? If you know somebody who's going through an abusive relationship, that's a good question to ask. Or to try and make her understand that we understand that it is scary to leave, but sometimes we need to be brave for ourselves.